to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve. And that's the birds outside.
The birds are outside. I don't know if you can hear them because it is spring now, officially. On Thursday, happy spring. We are coming to you from Arizona, where it is spring, and in the mornings it's a little winter, and then in the mid-morning
not
it's
a little winter.
spring.
I had to put the heater back on this morning.
So in the morning we have winter, and around 10 o'clock it's spring, and then by 4 o'clock it's summer, and then by 10 o'clock at night it's fall again. So that's how our days go between now and end of April?
Yeah, it was so beautiful outside that Rogue and I walked to the mailbox.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice. We got a loud bird outside. So it's pleasant right now. And today when I went to get eggs, I was standing there, and she's got a lot of orange trees on her farm. Mm-hmm. And I could smell the orange blossoms. They're just starting to come out. And I was like, oh, it's my favorite smell.
That's one thing I miss in Arkansas was the magnolia blossoms. Mm-hmm. Really sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also mesquite, I think, has started to bloom. That really beautiful smell, although it is kind of overwhelming when it's those little orange balls that come out in the trees, like the Lowe's over on Ray has a bunch of those trees, and they one downtown too, and they turn bright yellow, kind of like the Palo Verdes, but they're little tiny fuzz balls of flowers, and they smell so beautiful. But in the height of it, you're like, dying.
There are I don't know if they use them here, but there's these like ornamental pear.
Yeah, that stink.
They smell like death, like
Apparently,
a dead thing. One time they use them a lot in the downtown in Little Rock where I worked, and they used them to decorate the office buildings down there or whatever. And one time I was walking a few blocks, there was a pizza place I used to go to on my lunch hour, and when I was walking down, I thought, did something die? Like I thought there was a dead animal in the gutter or something.
I read a thing that they're like,
and it was one of those trees. It was
they're parasitic, actually.
Yeah, they're pretty bad news. But it smelled horrible.
But we have nice smelling trees.
Nowadays, I can't smell anything.
Oh, well, then you're lucky. All right, let's get started. I'm going to go first. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Mary O's. Thank you so much. I got your bookmark in the mail. It is actually so beautiful. I love the stitching. So this is going straight into my Bible. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
All the flowers. I love it. Thank you so much. It was so sweet of you to send. So she sent me that kind of as a thank you for the socks that she won in the giveaway some time ago. So that was fun.
Did you send you a card?
Yeah, she sent me a cute little card. Really, really cute. A little snowman.
Oh, yeah.
Really cute little snowman. Oh, it's from St. Jude's. Oh, nice. So that's sweet. Thank you, Mary. I'm gonna go first. I'm still working on my aunt's sweater. Today's actually her birthday, and for shame, I don't have it done. But I am working on it slowly but surely. This is kind of a sit and concentrate kind of. Not really. It's easy, but I did find mistakes that I'd made. The front is the front pass, the right side is knit 1, purl 1, like a ribbing, and then the back is all purl. And I went to start a panel on the front side and noticed that I somehow had, I guess, in my sleeping stupor, I had like the last, little section. Or actually, it was it was like over here, I had like knit instead of alternating. So my rows were a little messed up, but otherwise it's coming along. I think I have maybe 10 inches. What do you think? You think that's 10 inches about? And then I have probably another 12 to go, or more, so. So I'm plugging away. I called her today and I was like, I need another sweater. I'm sorry. I'll have it done by summer.
She got the package I sent.
Oh, that's good.
But she said, I'm going to let Alice choose first.
Oh, that was nice.
Mhm.
So that's my sweater I'm working on. Then the other thing I have to talk about, I think I talked about the fact that I bought this some time ago. It's hand dyed by Dylicious Yarns, who are the owners of the Tempe Yarn and Fiber yarn store. And she dyes her own yarn, and this is a gradient dye. It goes from light to dark, or dark to light to dark is how they usually go. This one's called Dragon's Eye, and it's mostly blue and white, and it has black and red in it as well. So I've decided, and this is the Desert Carefree line, and it is merino and nylon fingering weights, but it's 650 yards, so that's a lot. And she actually wrote a brioche shawl pattern, which I think I showed a few weeks ago, like when I decided what I wanted to do. So in order to do that, though, I need a solid contrast. So I need to figure out what solid yarn color will go with this. And so I'm going to actually go today to Tempe Yarn and look for a contrasting color. And if I find one, I will put it here in the picture. So I don't know, because the shawl pattern I've never done brioche before. I've done it a little bit, but I want to do, I've never done a whole project. And so this is kind of in my learning to do new things mode. So I want to contemplate it and think about starting it. I know I need to get the sweater done, but anyway, you have different kinds of knitting for different situations. So that's what I'm going to do today with this, and hopefully find that. And so, I was going to say, the pattern is reversible. So on one side you would see the solid color, and the other side you would see the gradient. Although both yarns peek through, one is more prominent on one side than the other. So I want it to be a really good contrast.
No, I thought
I'm
you
not
had
sure.
chosen them.
No, I just bought
She had
this.
other yarns there.
I had
but
other
she
yarn.
had that.
I got this yarn from Mary Lou, and then I had gotten other things. But no, I bought this kind of as a loaner, which I like doing. The last one, so the last one I had bought like this, I made a shawl that was just a triangle shawl, and it went from black to green to white to green to black. It was beautiful. And I just fell in love with the skein while I was working there, and I was like, honey, this is a $50 skein of yarn. Is it okay? And he's like, whatever you want. So, which was really nice. So I got that, and then I made that scarf, and Judy fell in love with it.
Did she?
I was like,
I see.
I gave it to her because she fell in love with it. So I was
Yeah,
like,
remember
okay.
that, yeah. No.
So then I was like, I'm going to buy another one of these Carefree and make that shawl again, or make a triangle shawl. So I was looking for a pattern, and then I realized, I've never done a big brioche project, and so I think I'm going to try that. So I have to probably buy 2 smaller skeins because this is 650 yards. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with that. And then the other thing, Hannah's birthday is coming up in the end of April. And I went to Joann's and I was looking at patterns, and she's like, no clothes. But one of the things that has been consistent in her life is journaling. And she not only journals about practicing and personal stuff, she also draws and stuff in her journals. So I had seen these ads in, Instagram, Facebook for stuff. And so I started looking at this company, and it's called Arabesque Scissors is her company. I don't think I talked about this last week. I think I meant to, and we ran out of battery. I'm looking for I just downloaded it, sorry. Here it is. Arabesque Scissors runs a sewing pattern company. If you look her up, do you remember some time ago I saw a pattern for a little, a lunch box kind of bag thing that's like, it's like a placemat that you can fold up and button, and it becomes like a carrying thing. And I wanted to make it for my boss, and I bought it, and it supposedly came with a template and a pattern, and it was the worst written pattern ever on earth. You remember that? And I went to watch the video, and the video was horrible, and there was a fan blowing. So every time she'd put the fabric out, the fan would blow the fabric, and I'm like, good for you trying to do your thing, you know, but
Do it better.
Do it better, and like
think it through.
there was no. I guess as a writer and as someone in marketing and like proofreading, the written pattern was so full of just copy paste mistakes, like the sentences were stuck together, and like the paragraphs didn't make sense, and like there was a sentence that wasn't finished, like it got cut off in the thing.
The thing is that for doing something like that, you have all the time in the world. You don't have to meet a deadline. You don't have to.
So I was really disappointed.
Yeah.
All that to say, I was super disappointed in that pattern, which makes you shy the next time you run across an Instagram, make this project kind of person. But I was like, you know what? I really like this journal cover. I want to see what it's all about. And I went and looked at the website. I think I found her with it's like a little wallet that's like a quilt as you go kind of wallet. So I was like, and I really liked the journal, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a chance. And this is the best written pattern I have ever seen. So this is called the Crafted Life Companion. I'm gonna show the front. I tried to print it out, and I wasn't successful today. This is a quilted, not quilted, but sewn journal cover that you make. It's got a lot of interfacing and like a thicker one to make it sturdy. And you open the flap here, and you can see that it has different pockets and stuff. And there's a bunch of options. Let me show you this page. This shows you kind of all the different options that you can put. All the different options you can have in the journal cover, and the different pockets you can choose. It comes with the ability to put like a to-do, like those tear-off pads, a to-do list thing on one side. But if you don't want to do that, you can put extra pockets. And it also comes with a built-in pen holder. So you sew all the pieces together, and she has this incredible video where she goes from step one all the way through and shows you how to do everything. And it's really, and then, oops, doggone it. I closed it accidentally. It also has this adventure map, which this doesn't show any of the pattern. It's an adventure map to tell you, get all your supplies, decide what variants you want, and it shows like an actual little road with all the things you need to do along the road to do your pattern. Look at that.
How inventive.
Like, you know,
step by step.
Yeah, step by step, and then if you want it thicker, do this. If you want this variant, if you want that, this is the place where you do the different variants. You know, or if you want to simplify it, you do this, and it gives you like this whole, like you can make all these decisions. And I'm like, this is absolutely beautiful. And then she also had, I bought a bundle because she also had something called the Inkwell, which is here it is. It's a similar pattern, and it goes with the journal, and it's for a little, has a little sewn external pocket right here for extra pens, and it shows it here separate. But here, so there's an elastic along the back of this, and there's also an elastic right here that holds the cover in, the cover down. So you can add that to the journal journal cover that you make, and so and it fits a particular kind of journal, like the 5.5, 8.5 size hardcover journal. So, and I don't know if she likes that kind of journal. I know that Moleskine makes one that size, so and I know Moleskine, she really likes those. I think she uses all different kinds of sizes of journals, from what I can remember in my mind. So I think she won't mind that. And then you can just take the book out and put a new book in, right, and keep your same cover. So I got that, and it also comes with a PDF of all the templates that you can print out, and you just have to check. It has a little, like not a gauge swatch, but like a gauge indicator to make sure your printer is printing at the actual size it needs to be. And so it's really cool. Yeah, you make the flap, you make the back, you make.
There's nothing better than a well done pattern.
Oh, so I read through the pattern, which is a little bewildering, but then I watched the video, and the video is so step by step. I feel really, really confident.
That goes true for cross stitch patterns and knitting patterns and sewing patterns, and you were talking about advertisement. You see stuff, and when you're in promotions and advertisement and stuff, you see stuff and you go,
well, that other pattern I bought, the little ad video was really nice, which made me click on it, and then I went ahead and bought it, and then the actual product came and it was awful.
And I was just mentioning to Rob yesterday that I think it's Bearskin Hoodies. Their ad is brilliant because it says, "You're not a child, you're a man, so wear a man's jacket," kind of thing. And of course, they're all going to go, "Yeah, I'm a man. I need a man's jacket."
So with that pattern in mind, when I was at Joann's, I visit them once in a while just to see kind of what's going on. And I was there actually buying some flowers and some silk flowers, and they had this fabric bundle. It was in a little fat quarter bundle, and they say these all go together. I think they mostly do. This one is like a marble color. This one is kind of nice. And I don't know if I will use these for the journal cover, but I'm considering them. But I don't know if I need a solid and then make the pockets these colors or what. I just bought them. I bought them without the journal in mind. And then when I was looking at the journal, I was like, can I use that fabric bundle? So I took the fabric bundle apart and was really studying the colors and patterns and whether they go together. I'm not sure, but I'm contemplating these. I guess this one is one of my favorites, and also this one. But I don't know how they would look together, like with a pocket of this on that. You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking about it. But I want to get that going soon, because I realized, oh my gosh, April is like next week. So that is everything I have to talk about. That's me.
I'll go second because I have very little to show.
Goodness.
The first thing is a little dragon.
That's this little part.
Oh, he's so cute.
And
I didn't even know you were making that. All of a sudden, I saw a picture of it online.
It didn't take me very long.
And then I thought, where did that come from? And it was sitting up there.
I'll tell you why I made
better?
it instead of the chicken right away. So I teach after school art program in elementary schools. And in one of the elementary schools, there is this young man who is a brilliant artist, but a brat. And we were supposed to be drawing Yetis. And
What did you say?
Yeti.
Okay.
A Yeti. And they're supposed to draw the drawing I'm drawing, right? And they like us to take in, something to get the kids like, oh yeah, we want to draw a Yeti, you know. I don't know why the picture doesn't do that, but that's not my problem that we're supposed to do that. So she gave me a printout, she gave all of us a printout with these little Yetis on it. And he said, can we draw that instead? And I said, no, we're drawing this one. And he started drawing that one immediately from memory, because when he said that, I took it down. And from memory, he started drawing that little one, and he refused to draw the big one. And I'm like, if I put up the cute little dragons that she provided for the baby dragons we're going to do later on, I'm going to end up with the same problem, right? And I said, I can crochet a pattern. I saw it flash by on my YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And so I decided to go ahead and do it. Now, it's made for making it about this big with like sock yarn, you know?
Really?
Yeah, but that wouldn't do in the class, you know, for everybody to see it. So I went ahead and used the same yarn that I used on that fox, the wrong color fox. And I think he came out okay.
He's cute.
And her videos have no talking whatsoever, which I find strange. And there's this music that I like silence, but she writes the pattern at the top of the thing. Is every time she goes to a new thing, it's in writing up on top, so you just pause it and you can read it, which is fantastic. The only problem with her patterns I had was that when she's putting on like the wings and the little stuff, her fingers were in the way of what she was doing. And because she wasn't talking, it was kind of hard to, like, I put the tail on upside down. I realized later on, I was like, well, it's on now, so looks fine to me. The chicken pattern that I'm working on, you know, it's printed out and it's actually quite clear. It's by the same person that the foxes were from, which was Happy Berry. I'm not sure about this one because she didn't talk. You know, it was not something that I went back to look at.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, I'm trying to thread a needle while I'm talking and I'm not being super successful.
Did the new crochet hook work out?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And I even started another project because the yarn I was using on the chicken is different than the yarns that you gave me. And those yarns needed one of the bigger ones that you gave me. And so I said, well, I need a project for these. And I found a cat pattern that I'm enjoying. They're very clear on what you need to do, and she goes slowly, and it's very nice. But I was like, I bought this chicken pattern. I'm going to do these chickens. I thought in the picture, I thought they were bigger.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Good photography then, I guess. Right?
So I finished Be Happy by Cross Stitching for Fun, and it's yours.
Thanks. Oh my gosh.
I'll FFO it, then I'll give it to you.
This will look nice on my desk. Cute. Little bee gnomes.
They're little gnome bees.
Oh my gosh.
And they did this exact same pattern in pinks, and it just says Happy Valentine's Day on it.
Oh, funny.
But the gnomes are Valentine gnomes.
Oh, funny.
So, yeah. So I finished that, and let's see what else I have here. I'm working on right now. I'm working on Snowed In by Stitching with the Housewives. This was one of my new starts for this month. But since I finished both my projects for this month that I was supposed to be concentrating on, I'm like, well, I might as well work on the stuff I already started. So, oops, that's upside down. This is where I am so far. And you can't see it in the photographs, but you can see it in person. It's got sparkly threads in it. See, the snow sparkles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is small. I don't know if I'll finish it before the end of the month, but there's a possibility, you know, because I finished both projects I was concentrating on. And then we have, Naomi briefly touched on our crazy weather. Under the Sea temperature chart by myself. It's on our Etsy shop, Three Sisters Creative. And I got this week's done over here. You can see we had 2 coolish days and 3 hot days. I think 83s.
I'm so behind on my snakes.
Oh.
It's because you're doing that and playing games. But if you're writing down the temperature every day, that's all that matters. Okay, so I got on more seaweed over here. So, and there's enough seaweed over here that I can go ahead and start this month later. It starts underneath this seaweed, so yeah, it's coming along. I like having that record, a visible record of what this year's temperatures were. And I remember when I first saw people doing temperature charts, I went, that's an awful lot of work. But there's so many clever designs, and I'm not saying mine's clever, I'm just saying there are clever, oh dear.
It's very cute.
Like the one that Pam Schaefer's doing on Just Keep Stitching that has, it's
Yeah,
each month
flowers.
it's a flower, I mean, like flower stem, and at the top there's a little like a birdhouse or something, you know, on the top, just across the top that's a decoration. But so each day is like
Petal.
a petal of the flower, or something
wow.
like that. So it grows upward.
Interesting.
It's really nice.
So, also, because I finished both projects, I've been working on Maggie May by Station Nash, and I started going up, and you guys probably said, that thing is not going to fit on that little piece of fabric. No, it didn't, because I started going up this front of the bunny, and I went, that's not going to fit.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to start over.
On a different piece of fabric?
It's the same fabric, but a bigger piece of fabric.
I see.
So yes, it's a different piece of fabric, but it's the same fabric. Does that make sense? No. Okay, so I switched the color here because when I was looking at it, I just didn't like that really, really dark skirt, dress. And the shadows under the arms, you know, here under the arms, there's a little line, the little shadows, was virtually the same color. And I thought, I'm just going to leave that one because this is teal, right? And this has a lot of variant in it. It goes from a grayish color to a blue greenish color. And I think once you see more of it, it'll look really pretty. And then I think it'll look better with the little flowers than what I had planned initially. Well, I had this color initially planned for going up the front of the face. The second reason I changed it, stop, sorry. The second reason that I changed it was because you really couldn't see the difference between the face color and this color. It looked exactly the same. So I'm just using a DMC color. I auditioned several colors that I already have, but I wasn't going to go buy another one for 2 reasons. I didn't want to make a trip up to the attic for one thread, because then I would sit there and look at their patterns and come back with more than one thread. Also, I would have had to wait, and I didn't feel like waiting. So I went ahead and got exactly where I was before, and then a little bit further, and I put a little pinky nose on. So I will probably work more on that, and I have a project that I've been working on that I'm not going to show you here. And then our market picks from
The attic? Containers there? Oh.
Keepsakes has not arrived.
Yeah.
We're very sad. Which is why the dog and I walked to the mailbox this morning. And as I got there, the mailman was there, and she behaved. and you know, it's just mail. He goes, "Thank you for picking it up." Because we go many days usually without picking it up. Anyway, this is one of my market picks, Cute Crocodile by Tiny Modernist. I wanted to be starting that right now.
Oh, it is cute.
But the yellow fabric that I have is like neon yellow. I mean, it's really bright. I dyed it myself, and it's very bright. And I could start it on that, and I might have, except I do not possess one of the colors, and it's the one right on the middle where I would want to start. So, yeah. And there's, you know, it's got this little border. I could have started on the border, but
Yeah, that's like the chameleon that I did
I know.
last. Yeah, it's the same series, I guess. That she's.
And then this is the other one that I pre-ordered from the attic, Cute Animal Trio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had some pink fabric, and I thought I would use it on another project I'm going to show you, because it would look really pretty on it, but it's the wrong thread count. And I said, I bet this would fit on there. And I auditioned one of the pink threads in the poodle. It would be invisible. So no, I cannot do that. So I'll probably have to dye some fabric. I would buy another package of that, I call it mint, but that's not what they call it, fabric that they had at Hobby Lobby, but I don't think they sell it anymore. I haven't seen it in a long time. But that pink fabric would have looked beautiful on it. I didn't pre-order this. I snagged it when I was there picking up my orders. That is the second of the big bugs, like botanical bee.
It's cute. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and don't show the pattern.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I was very sad that I hadn't pre-ordered it. No, I saw it there. I was like, yes. But this is the fabric. This is 32 count Lugana Vein Atlantic VIEN, I think, right?
Let me see. Something like it again. Yeah.
Vein
It's like
Atlantic.
vein.
Yeah. I picked this up at the attic when I ordered it, actually, for Botanical Bee. And I'm just gonna put this ladybug on the same fabric. I have plenty of fabric. It'll look pretty on this. Will it be on this pink fabric? No. But I think it'll look fine. So I'm gonna use this for that. And I am done.
Can I interject something?
Hmm?
Can I interject something before you go? I forgot to talk about, remember I bought that big Burnett blanket yarn
Oh, yeah.
for Eli.
for
Yeah.
Eli.
Mhm.
And I tried to figure out a way to do finger knitting with one hand, and it just was not gonna. I couldn't figure it out. So I decided I thought, well, I'll just knit him a blanket from it, and it's big chunky yarn. How won't take long. And I actually I have some big knitting needles like this that I borrowed. That I inherited from my mother-in-law, but that yarn is unknittable. And I think you could use a crochet hook on it, but you can't. What? No, no. I'm saying I think you could use a crochet hook on it, but but it would it'd have to be one of those giant blanket ones, which I don't have. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna try finger knitting. So I actually went to the Bernat, I think that's how you say it, website and found a pattern, and I started to knit it. And it's like a basket weave, because you can see there's like pearls and
Oh, it looks pretty.
pearls and knits. So I'll put a close up of this, but this is the colorway leather from this Bernat blanket, extra thick. So
Is it a French company?
I have no idea. I hear everybody online say Bernat. I don't know. Maybe it's Bernat. I don't know.
I thought it was Bernat.
But it's by Yarn Inspirations. So Yarn Inspirations, whatever company that is. Well, Bernat. Anyway, I've heard people say Bernat, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But this colorway is called leather, and it's kind of because I'm new at it, and it said to do a 2-inch loop, which is big. Some of the stitches are looser than others, but it'll all come out in the wash. Anyway, I started it one night while I was watching Michael Clayton movie of all things, and sitting on the floor. I'm just doing it on the floor, and that was like one night's worth of work. It goes fast, and I have three balls worth. That's what the pattern called for. So it'll be a small little throw blanket, but.
Yeah, it's watching TV.
It'll be beautiful. It looks great.
Yeah. Anyway, so I forgot to talk about that. So that's my other little distraction that I have going on.
Let me put my needle in the back here. So, last week I showed the up on the rooftop stocking finish. I think I showed that last week, and the festive fruit bat, which was another one of my, one of my 2 new starts with my WIP-GO numbers. The festive fruit bat, and I finished it. And my other new start was Peppermint Parrot by Jenny McGowan, the Blue Flower. This is one of her. This and the Festive Fruit Bat, they were both from the Jingle Ball. This was from the Jingle Ball Baubles ornament book. And the Festive Fruit Bat was just a freebie that she did. So this is another finish, the Peppermint Parrot. This is the one, the colors were inspired by the lovebirds. And
Love those birds.
and the one thing I did was, in the berries, the top, on the pattern here on the photograph, the berries on the top have this little single white stitch to, give them the shine, right? But it's not on the pattern. So I just went by the picture, the placement on the picture, and put them in, and so that I put them on the pattern here. And then the other change I made was for the little perch that the parrot's sitting on the pattern. It calls for petite treasure braid in a, I think it's gold or something gold something. But I just used etoile. The gold etoile. The gold is the same gold etoile that I use on everything. It's like, oh, I have that. I'll just use that, and it shows up very nice. This is 14 count Ada that I dyed myself. This light blue color, and it came out very nice, very nice. Probably, if I can, it's a little little bit big for an ornament, so I might make it into a little pillow. I don't know. But it's the only thing that's very, you know, sort of Christmassy about it is that little peppermint
Candy cane.
candy cane. That's what I'm trying to say. But
I
you
think,
know.
and I may be mistaken, when you were talking about the fruit bat last week,
Mm-hmm.
and you were talking about the candy cane,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you said pepperoni.
One of those P words.
Pepper something.
Pepper something, yeah.
Pepperoni, pepper.
like a
Mint.
what do you call it? Autocorrect.
Pepper cane. You could just call it a pepper cane.
Yeah. So when you
I'm not positive.
when you try to type in, you know, peppermint, it's just pepperoni.
So the reason I'm not positive is because I didn't go back and listen to it. I was doing something, and I went, "Did she just say pepperoni?"
Anything's possible.
So I did the two new starts. I started them and finished them, and my other WIP-GO thing was technically a new start. Was the up on the rooftop stocking. I talked about that last week because I finished it, and so I had started the month working on or at some point I was working on the woodpecker. This cottage garden sampling woodpecker, and the goal on it was 7 days, and so I had done that as of last week. I had done the 7 days, and so when I finished with the peppermint parrot, I thought, well, what shall I do for the rest of the month? And so I went back to work on the woodpecker, and so I started doing the black on the woodpecker's body. I still haven't done a lot of all the trees and stuff like that. Frankly, you know, because it's the fall colors, for some reason I am just not drawn to all of the pinks and oranges and yellow. Yeah, I'm not. That's not. You know,
I
I'm
don't
like, oh, I
I
want to do
think
that.
it's to seed it in the year, you know.
Yeah. Well, and what works out very nicely too, though, is that for this one piece of cloth, I have all the birds on there. The owl, the eagle, and the woodpecker. And I think because all the other ones are other animals. So
That's funny. I actually despise the color orange, and yellow is right there. But you put it on a leaf, and I love it. It's weird.
yeah, I'm just like I don't dislike any of them. I'm just not like compelled to stitch
I think
them.
once you see them on on the thing, it'll.
Yeah, I mean, because I have no problem with the you know the color. They're just not like I'm not like super attracted to them. Like some people, you know, say, oh, I love the fall colors.
That's me.
You know, and the other one that is a fall color palette is the Little Brown Bat is the October pattern, the number 10 pattern, and it's also browns and fall colors and all that, and you know, I could take it or leave it. But anyway, so I did more work on the woodpecker. I finished all the grays and the white, and all that's left on him is the black of his body and his. I did this 1 foot today. I just finished a little claw. You know, and it's funny because I was looking at it. I was like, there's like on his body, on the belly, kind of. There's like 2 little stray, you know, lines like this that stick out. I was like, why would they put those there? Because it's not like the smooth feathers of his body. And what it is I guess it's the back claw that's behind his body. Because this is the one claw that's in the front, and this is the edges of the claw that's in the back. I was like, what are those stray weird lines? Yeah, it's this other claw. But so now I just have like the black of to finish his tail, a little more of this leg, and then the tail, and the woodpecker will be finished. And then all I have to do is all the little trees. And leaves and stuff that are all the rest of that, but the body of the woodpecker is almost finished, and actually probably like it's like what, another week of this month left, and I might be able to actually finish the woodpecker body. I don't know that I'll finish all the trees and stuff, but at least the body would be finished. And then next time I work on the woodpecker, it would be a quick finish. But anyway, so that was more of the woodpecker. And then for today, since I got to the end of a black thread on the woodpecker, and I thought, well, actually, what I should do is work some more on these. These are the designs, my new starts from February, and I had this is a Twin Peak Primitives Snow Angel. I don't have do I have the cover picture? I don't think I have the cover picture. I think I have it put away somewhere. Anyway, but so this one, just I have like the rest of the body of this little snowman, snow angel thing, and then the word hope is on the bottom, and then there's a few just random little snowflake things. And I think, no, I did the star up here. Okay. So, so it's just the finishing the white of the body, and then the word hope, and then, like I said, these few random little snow things. So I thought I'd work on that some more. And I still have the St. Nicholas, which was the other one from last month, the other new start I had that was also Twin Peak Primitives pattern. So apart from the woodpecker, I've been working on Christmas stuff all month. So yeah. Anyway, so this one, if I could possibly finish it also, we'll see. But then, so like Eve said, our order from Keepsakes has not arrived yet.
Before you tell yours,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say that Cute Animal Trio is by Artist Designs, and this is hands-on design.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So before we placed the Keepsakes order, I was trying to be frugal, and I thought, we thought, we'll just place an order at the attic, and so because like I said, I was trying to be frugal and not order anymore, but then Stephanie Schaefer, works at Keepsakes, and she was talking about how their deadline for
You need to stop watching that.
for Nashville was the 4th.
And then she wrote me into it.
Yeah, was it close of business on the 4th because they were leaving like the next day or whatever for Nashville. And so I called Stephanie like quarter to 5 her time, which is quarter to 3 our time, I think, something like that. Because I was like, I told Eve, did you want to place something for Keepsakes? Because I'm about to call them and place an order, because we were like, skirting the deadline. And so she said, okay. I placed the order at Keepsakes. Well, I know, I guess I did that online. I placed that order online. But then at almost Keepsakes closing time, I called Stephanie because there was one item that I had meant to add to the order I came across. I was like, wait, I want to add this. So yeah. So I got it in just under the wire. But so that order, like I said, we're still waiting on. But so we went to the attic yesterday, and because our Nashville order had come in, and so I ordered this. This is the Night Garden thread pack, and these skeins are 20-yard skeins. So there's a lot, So there's beautiful blues and green. There's a blue and a green and a purple and a beige color, gold, beige, whatever color. So all the designers that wanted to participate could. They were encouraged to design something with just these 4 colors, and
Every week she leaves.
to use them in a design. And I don't know that I have any of the night garden things here. Oh, one of the things I ordered from Keepsakes was a design called Forget-Me-Nots, I think. And I can't remember now if it's... Forget-Me-Not.
Not
Do you remember the designer?
Yeah,
Is
it's Tiny Monarchs.
Tiny Monarchs? Yeah. So it uses these colors. It's the little elephant holding Forget-Me-Nots. And there's some other things that use these palettes that we've ordered.
I bought 2 of that type of thing, but I'm gonna probably not want those.
And then this is a Tiny Modernist pattern. This is Mouse's Snow Day. I have 2 or 3? 3. 3? Yeah, 3 of these patterns. She's got several of them with this little mouse in a dress and various, seasonal things. Like I have Mouse's Lucky Day, Mouse's Beach Outing, and Mouse's Christmas Decorating. And this is Snow Day. So there's a Canada Goose and the mouse is on ice skates. And yeah, so very nice. And then I have Bunny's House. I'll just add to my bunny collection. This is a little bunny with a big carrot house that she lives in. Yeah, very cute. This is by Emily Call, is the designer of this pattern. And then one of the big hits at Nashville was this by the Blue Flower called Pigeon and Puddle. And it's a little pigeon wearing galoshes and looking at its reflection in the puddle. And I'm very excited to start that. And then Ginny McGowan, for her part in the night garden design thing, she had actually a freebie, and I'm not going to show it, but it's called Iris. So yeah, it makes use of these colors. So yeah.
Oh, how nice. She didn't do a for sale one?
I don't think so. But and then I ordered one that didn't come in because they had to order it from Twin Peak Primitives. I guess they didn't have them. I don't know if they didn't have them there at Nashville or didn't have enough. But I ordered the pattern Afloat, and it's a whale, and on the whale's back is ship masts. So it's a ship, but it's a whale. So I ordered that one, so I'm still waiting for that one to come in. And then of course the order from Nashville.
Nashville.
I mean from Keepsakes. So yeah. So that's me.
That's you. All right. Now comes the segment called Question of the Week. We've been asking these questions just to get to know a little bit more about our viewers and so you guys can get to know us a little better about different topics. And last week we asked where you guys are. I think the furthest away was Canada, and we also have Texas, South Carolina, South Dakota, Oklahoma. We got and I'm sure there's probably an Arizona contingent out there as well. So we're so excited to have people from all over. That's a lot of fun. We were thinking, since it's the first week of spring, what are your spring projects that you have? Do you have spring themed cross stitch or knitting patterns or anything going on? We'd love to hear about that. Even Beth apparently celebrating Christmas in March. But yeah, so we're curious about that. So let us know that. What was I going to say? So we also have stories that are happening in our lives.
I did want to mention that we don't show stuff from our Etsy shop with regularity just because we haven't been able to make any new things. But there are some Easter stuff on the Etsy shop. There's some there's there's one's called April Showers, and it's a duck in galoshes with an umbrella. I think he has an umbrella.
So they have like, you mean like bags?
And we have
Project bags.
project bags, yeah.
Yeah.
And needle minders. We have needle minders with
And
bunnies
Scissor fobs.
and scissor fobs and
So
stuff.
yeah.
So the Etsy shop is still there. It's just, and I have the stuff here. If you order it, I meant to bring it and put it here, and I forgot. But I'll bring some out next week.
So yeah.
Easter is late this year.
Yeah, it's April 20.
April 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for some Easter fun and some spring fun, we do have a lot. We have a lot of themed project bags that Eve has made, and you can usually
I would be
get.
making them like crazy. I've seen so much fabric that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Except I don't have a sewing machine right now.
Her sewing is on hold, but so we have project bags, needle minders, scissor fobs that you can kind of get a whole set that goes together. Like, you can find that, and our project bags usually have a cute little charm on them, some of them, and
And notions pouch.
and notions pouches.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come
Sometimes
with the
they're-
project bag.
Oh yeah, so they're bundled, so that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're looking for something like that for Easter, for getting the spring mood,
I was looking for something when we were getting ready for the last showing, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I have a whole box of stuff here, and I had to bring it out. I'm sorry.
and her project bags are really good quality, really nicely made. So that's fun. So anything crazy happened this week with y'all?
Something happened last week, and then this week, something similar.
Okay.
Well, not similar. When we went to church, on the way back, I always go around the back way through a neighborhood that's the church is actually in, rather than onto the main road. And because I can get on the main road at a light and not have to turn left on this busy road. And I can turn left on a busy road, I just prefer not to.
It's a hard spot.
Judge Judy says
Yeah.
that is a very good idea, to just go around the block and go that way. It's safer.
Well, and
I
it's a
agree.
hard spot because
It
it's
is.
some hills and
It's
you can't
hard to
always
see.
Yeah.
It's curved. Anyway, I go through there all the time. I'm not going, a zillion miles an hour. I'm going, I rarely go faster than the speed limit by more than a mile or two. And I'm approaching an intersection where there is no stop sign for me. There's a stop sign going this way, right? This woman is running, and she started to run across the street in front of me. If I hadn't slammed on my brakes and if she hadn't stopped at the same time, I would have run right into her. And at 25 miles an hour, it sounds like it's a low mileage thing.
You can
But-
still do damage.
Well, I don't think she even saw us. I think she saw the guy because we were going this way, and the guy was coming towards us.
I think she saw
and
the guy.
She saw that other guy, and so she stopped. Like she's just running along, jogging along.
She wasn't going to stop at all.
Yeah.
And
she was going to go like
Unfortunately-
across the street. you know?
unfortunately, I hit somebody going at a low rate of speed who ran in front of me, a young man, a little boy. It wasn't my fault. He ran in front of me from an area where there shouldn't have been anybody because he jumped a wall, a concrete wall, to run across the street, and it was dark. But I know the sound and the damage that it did to my car. So fortunately, he wasn't really injured, probably sore. But I was like, lady, what the heck? You're old enough to know to look both ways. At least the little boy is a little boy, So then,
So that happened last week? And it happened again?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, because we didn't go to church last week. We
Oh.
watched it online. And then in this past week, Robert wanted Chick-fil-A. And if I go run for him, it's like I can order whatever I want and he'll pay for it. I had already eaten breakfast, but I got myself a soda. But anyway, I said, okay, yeah, you know, and I started and I headed out to Chick-fil-A. And I was in the leftmost lane because it was almost time for me to turn to go up to Chick-fil-A, right? I'm on Chandler, that same busy road. And right there, toward my right, there is a lot of businesses. It's a little tiny shopping center, and it's got a Wendy's and a couple of other restaurants, and it you know, it's a little business area. And there was a truck. I'm here, the truck is here in the lane next to me. A car turned left in front of that truck and tried to get in front of him, between us, to get behind me. I'm like, how big does that truck have to be before you see it? Fortunately, that truck was on the ball because the truck didn't hit the person turning. But if he had, they would have slammed into the back of me because it was that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
You hate it when you see chaos going on in your rearview mirror and you're like, I can't do anything about this.
Well,
please, drivers, watch what you're doing.
I saw a reel.
And runners.
I saw a reel on I don't know, Facebook or whatever, I don't know where, but with it was a semi, you know, had a dash cam or whatever, and he's going along, and this guy in an SUV was on a side street, and he waits until the truck is like between here and that wall, and
they can't see the wall.
And he pulls. Well, I mean, but I mean, you know, I don't know, 20 feet away, 10 feet away, or whatever. I don't know how far that way is, but the like it was maybe a car length, maybe at, you know, a little bit more than a car length. And this SUV just like pulls out blindly in front of the semi, and the semi just whacked him, you know, because he had no choice. He couldn't, you know, no matter, even if he slammed on his brakes, you know, it was such a last minute thing that there was no way he could stop in time, you know. And some people, of course, in the comments, and people say stupid stuff in comments like that, and they're like trying to blame the truck driver, and I'm like,
no,
there's nothing he could done, you know, like they're saying, oh, he should have moved over to the other lane. It's like, even if he had done that, he would have hit that guy, because the guy, you know, there's nothing like waiting till the last minute and say, I think I'll pull out now.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, what kills me is when I'm driving reasonable and prudent, as you are supposed to. I don't race around people. I don't, you know, like I said, I rarely go very far above the speed limit, and unless I'm just like not paying attention. But this guy blares on his horn at me because he felt like I was going too slow. It was solid traffic. There is no way I could have gotten out of his way or gone any faster. Why are you, what exactly do you expect me to do? I guess he expected me to change lanes so that he could speed up to the car behind in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it was bumper to bumper traffic, and he's blaring at me because I'm not going fast enough.
Yeah,
I'm
gotta
sorry.
love it.
I'm sorry.
Gotta love the traffic.
Gotta love Phoenix traffic.
Today was traffic day. Like, I went out to get eggs, and the 202 has construction down to one lane.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting there.
Construction, we were deciding it must be spring, because everywhere we went yesterday, there was, you know, you're down to one lane, down to two lanes, down to one lane, you know.
There's, so in this place, there's the HOV lane, which doesn't apply today, right? And then the left lane, and there was a third lane, but, and well, there's like several, but so for several miles, they've been pushing everyone over, and it was down to the 2 lanes, and the guy in front of me, this big truck, the third lane was kind of empty, so I was suspecting, although I couldn't see, that it also was going to get, you know, shoved over. So he like straddles the line, but he doesn't actually get in the third lane. He's straddling the line, I guess, so he could see what was ahead. and he's straddling, so I can't go past him because he's half in the lane, but he won't actually get over because he doesn't want to lose his place in line, you know. And then I look in my mirror, and there's also a semi truck in that lane back there, and another Jeep kind of halfway, like looking, like, and I'm like, just either if you're gonna be in that lane, just get in the lane and suffer when you get up to the, you know. And sure enough, in a minute after we progressed, so that I guess like maybe up over a hill or something, so that he could see, he gets back in line, and they all get in line, and then we actually had to merge back over to the other side. So it took.
So that's what it was. That's why it was bumper to bumper traffic, because there was construction, and I could see that the construction was, you know, moving us over. I'm like, it isn't that serious. You're not going to get half the time when you see somebody all anxious to speed ahead of you, they end up at the same light right beside you.
I know.
Yeah, I'm all for getting somewhere in a timely fashion, and I get frustrated with, you know, all the construction and people driving slow in front of me and blah, 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 but I don't honk at anybody about it.
Yeah.
I honk at somebody who's about to run in front of me like that lady did. I don't think I even honked at her, but, you know, and that woman that pulled out in front of that guy, she did a bad gesture toward him when he honked at her. I'm like, really? I'm like, you're the one that's in the wrong. I guess everybody else is supposed to get out of your way.
Yeah, get out of my way.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
I was going to tell you.
Did you have anything interesting happen?
We had a goodbye for one of my colleagues leaving the symphony, going on to, you know, her next chapter, and we were sad, but we had a little party for her, like a ice cream sundae, bilge roll sundae. It was nice. But then right after work, we went out, a few of us, and had drinks in a little restaurant bar downstairs, and so we were sitting outside, and so people who, as they were coming out of the office, were like, "Hey, come sit with us." So this one guy comes out, and he's pretty good-natured, but I was really surprised that he was as good-natured as he was. So we were all crammed around this little table, and he was kind of on the corner, sitting out, and we had some drinks, and then people ordered appetizers and stuff, and one of the ones that was ordered was for a guy sitting kind of against the wall, not this guy in question, but he had ordered like a big pretzel with cheese sauce, and I didn't see it happen. I heard it happen, and it kind of happened behind me, and I was surprised it didn't actually get on me. But the guy was bringing it, and something bumped whatever, and the little dish of cheese sauce fell on the ground and splashed all over. Come here. Come over here. Splashed all over the
That
ground.
cheese sauce is hot.
And it got on his briefcase, which he had right there. Got on the back of his butt, his work pants, and it kind of down the row where we were sitting, but on the floor. I mean, on the ground. It didn't come up, but he got the full. We were like, Bob, we're like, we thank you. So he stood up, and at first I just thought it was on his leg, and no, it was.
Oh my gosh!
He was laughing, and he just, they brought him a wet towel, whatever, and he just. But I was
So when
like,
I
you are
a good sport.
really good sport.
Remember when you had a whole glass? Was it more than one tea that fell
I
on
don't
you?
know. It was a whole bunch of drinks. We were out as a family. I was like, it was after a concert or something.
We were at the airport, so I think you would just pick me up at the airport or something like that. We were at the airport. We were at the Village Inn, right there by the airport.
So, I remember coming late to the party, and so I was sitting on the end seat of a long table or something, and this waitress brought out drinks and something unbalanced, and it just dropped all over me, and I just stood up
and
like,
she's going.
Stop.
And you should have seen her face because she was behind you. She thought, these people are going to kill me, and we
And
just all went.
Everybody laughed.
We just all went.
Yeah.
No, when I was living in Florida, there was a dollar theater, and it was in an old bowling alley, and they had low-level lights. It never went dark, and at the very back of where you would sit to watch the movie was the concession stand, so you never had to miss any of the movie to go buy something.
Mm.
And
I remember that.
and I bought some nachos, and they came in a plastic container with the corner with the cheese. And as I was walking, important to note, I had on a sterling silver bracelet.
We had to interrupt ourselves for a dog bark.
Yeah. So I'm walking back to my seat with my nachos. And I think as I got to the seat, I tried to hold the thing with just one hand on the chip side because the cheese side was hot. Okay? Didn't occur to me how hot until the plastic melted down. And dumped liquid cheese on my arm right here.
I remember this.
And I was like, get it off, get it off, get it off. I was trying to take off my bracelet because I had to do the class, but meanwhile I'm like, oh, you know, and I ran to the bathroom to run cold water on it. Because, you know, to cool the burn. There was no water. The sinks had no water. No water. And I ran, so then I ran back up to the concession stand. I said, my arm is burning. Give me some ice or something. They couldn't even find ice to give me. Because they would, I think if you bought a drink, it was like refrigerated,
Oh my
you know.
God.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding. I had welts on my arm.
Killer cheese.
Did they offer to give me anything? No. They tried to help. They tried to help, but they didn't have, you know, there was nothing to give me. And I was like, how can they have no water?
Yeah.
You go to the bathroom.
Like, do you not wash your hands? Do you not mop the floor? Do you not? Just like, ugh.
I lost my needle.
When
Maybe they have an employee bathroom.
when I was in when I lived in Little Rock, I would sometimes do gigs in Memphis, and one time I was I guess I was staying overnight in Memphis, and or maybe it was, I don't know. But we had rehearsal like in the morning or something, and then the concert wasn't until that evening. And so, so we basically had like time to kill between the rehearsal and performance. And so, like I think one time I went to the mall and sat in the food court or something like that. But this particular time I went to a movie theater, and they had like a dollar theater or something. That was showing this movie that I'd seen before, you know, but it was like, you know, cheap at, you know, at the dollar theater or whatever. And so I went to go see it, and I guess because it's, you know, it was inexpensive, and they had a bunch of like, you know, kids running the concession stand and taking the tickets or whatever, that I guess they started the movie. And then, like, you know, they didn't have a projectionist sitting up there, of course. And so they started the movie and were doing whatever. And at some point, the movie, like, it stuck. And it kind of like, you know, you could see, you know, how it melts through the film or whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. And so, like, it
used to be real film.
Yeah, it was stuck. And so...
You all remember.
People were like, hello. And nobody was answering, you know, like, people were... like just calling out from the audience, and nobody in the film booth, whatever, was answering. And so finally some guy got up and walked out there, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's like, yeah, what do they just like turn the projector on and walk away and they don't know how to, how to do anything to it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. One time there's like a dollar theater, what used to be a dollar theater. Here it's no longer a dollar, but a little independently owned, small kind of place. And they had the cups, by year where you could, if you bought it, you get a refill, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one, and I don't know why I don't think I would have brought the wrong year with me. Or maybe I accidentally did or didn't realize it or something. I don't remember the circumstance, but when I got up there, they're like, "Oh, that's the wrong year. We can't give you a refill for that one." And I was like, "Okay, I'll just buy a soda. That's fine. But would you just put it in the cup?
Mm-hmm.
Because why waste a cup? I have a cup."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "It's fine. I'll pay for it." And they're like, "No, we can't do that." And I'm like, "But I'm going to pay you the full price, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I just want it in this plastic cup."
Uh-huh.
And they're like, "No, we can't do that because our manager will be mad at us."
So call the manager over and say, "Can I
Watch.
buy a soda?
I'm gonna pour it.
I'm gonna pay for it.
Go ahead and pour me a soda, and then I'll sit here and put it in the cup."
No, and I said that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but we, like, they didn't want to do that because
They
if a
would-
manager saw a person with last year's cup or something
Yeah.
filled, they would yell at them or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's just like when I went to Rudy's and tried to get a sandwich with no bread. They could not understand that because I wanted, because I didn't want to buy a quarter pound of the brisket, right? Because that's what you can either buy a sandwich, which has a smaller amount of meat on the bread, or you can buy it by the pound,
Right.
quarter pound, whatever. And I was like, and they had a special on the sandwiches, like 2 for 1 or something. And I was like, or buy one, yeah, I don't know if it was buy one, get one half, or 2 for 1, anyway. I was like, I want to do the sandwich deal, but one of those I just don't want the bread. Because I'm like, why, if I take it with the bread, I'm not going to eat the bread, so why waste the bun? It's going to get thrown in the trash. Keep your bun and just give me the meat that would have been inside the 2 breads. And this woman's brain was like, because she's like, I don't think you can do that. I'm like, well, just whatever amount of meat you would put on the bread, don't put it on the bread. Just wrap it up. And charge me for the sandwich. I just don't want the bread. And she's like, I don't remember if it was a guy
What's
or a girl.
really nice-
I don't remember if it was a guy or a girl, but they looked at their manager and was like, can we sell a sandwich with no bread? And he's like, yes.
What's really nice is that, and a lot of people don't know this, is that you can order a side of scrambled eggs. You don't have to get, like the full big breakfast. You
Yeah.
can say,
Oh, at McDonald's?
Uh-huh.
Well, this was at Rudy's.
I know.
This is at Rudy's.
I know,
But
but you at McDonald's you can order a side of scrambled eggs. I used to do it for
eggs and a
Dad.
sausage, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and most places will give you a lettuce wrap, if you ask for that or whatever.
Yeah.
Some places like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But some, I'll just say, I've become an expert on lettuce wrap sandwiches, and some are better than others. Some companies know how to do it, the habit, and some companies don't. In and out. Well, they do it. It's fine, and I get them at In and Out all the time. They call them protein style, and they're fine. But they're always just a little bit less, I don't know, functional. I mean, and for really, if you really think, the only one that you can actually eat as a lettuce wrap is Jimmy John's, because they use really good lettuce and they wrap it in a diaper, and it's not leaky, greasy burger. It's less like a sandwich, a sub sandwich. But I've become an expert in lettuce wraps, and sometimes the guys want burgers, and I'm just like, that's no fun for me. I don't want a lettuce wrap.
I was going to say, that I was watching, I've been watching this Finnish, like from Finland, it's a cop procedural kind of, show on, and it's I think I'm in the 3rd season now. It's several seasons and several episodes. And it's really interesting, but it's one of those that, like we talked about, I think we talked about it a few weeks ago, about how, you kind of have to read the subtitles. So I can't like mindlessly listen to it while I'm stitching, because I have to actually read the subtitles because it's all in Finnish. Anyway, so, there was some episodes where, this girl is like, I guess they're using her as an informant about drug deals or whatever. And so there's these two guys, and they're always doing surveillance, of the area, I guess, with the drug dealers. And so they always show I think they referred to them as frickin' frack at one point. Yeah, but they're always showing them like sitting in the car eating sandwiches or something, and like but the other day, whatever they were eating, I was like, I really want a sandwich. I really want something, like some like a Jimmy John's or something, some really good sandwich or something, better than like, what we can make at home. But you can make a basic sandwich at home, but I'm like, I really want one, and for whatever reason, that got me thinking about, in Little Rock, there was a place close to our office, McAllister's. It's a chain. It used to. I think it's gone out of business, but anyway, we used to go there once in a while. But they had what was called a muffaletta sandwich.
And like with olives?
It's
like
yes, diced olives. Ooh. And I don't know what all, but it was just
sounds really good.
Very, very good. And I was just thinking, whatever reason I was on this sandwich thing, and I'm like, oh, I want a muffaletta sandwich.
I'm kind of like digging. What did I just say? What's it called? I literally just said the word, and now I can't think what it was.
Olive?
Tapenade.
Oh, tapenade. Yeah.
I'm kind of digging it lately.
Yeah.
My favorite sandwich is Dion's roast beef sandwich.
Mm.
You can't get. I've tried pizza places here to get a sandwich that is anywhere close, and they serve it with a Greek dressing on the side. I dip my sandwich into that Greek dressing. I dip my potato chips that come with it into it. I would rather have that sandwich than their pizza any day, and their pizza is fabulous.
Yeah.
Are there any here in Arizona?
Nope.
No.
You could open a franchise.
So I always like
I can't. I don't want to work with pizza.
In Little Rock, there was a place called Tzatziki's. It's a Greek place, and that was one of my favorite flavor combinations. But I always got what they called their chicken feast, and it was it was whatever spices they used, but they had a tzatziki dressing on it was chicken and salad and basmati rice. And it was just, oh my gosh, it smelled wonderful, it tasted wonderful. And a lot of times I would go and get it like takeout on the way home or whatever, or on Sundays, because it wasn't too far from my church. And so I would get takeout and take it home and enjoy myself. But one time I went there at I think it was on my birthday. And I had rehearsal or something, and I got out a little bit early, and so I was speeding to Tzatziki's because they were about to close, and I thought I'll get takeout, and I'll just go home and enjoy myself for my birthday, And
they were closed.
And I got to Tzatziki's at the last minute, and I ordered it, and I ordered the same thing, the chicken feast with the salad and the rice and blah blah blah, and I drove home. And I opened it up, and there was no rice in there. And that was the thing I was really looking for, because whatever their rice, I don't know if they cook it in, how you could cook rice in chicken broth or whatever. So I don't know if it was that or if it was whatever spices they used. But it was just, the rice was wonderful. And I got home and there was no rice. But I remember one time I had ordered some of that for some takeout, and I left the little styrofoam takeout box on the counter, in my kitchen because it didn't fit in the trash can. And I was doing this, and I came in the kitchen, and I was like, I could smell the leftover, the smell from the leftover stuff. I was like, oh, I want that so badly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I miss them. I like Firehouse hook and ladders.
Oh yeah.
Those are
yeah.
good.
I love Firehouse.
I think now you can get their sandwiches in a salad.
Yes, I get the hook and ladder salad. All the
Yeah.
way.
There was a place in Little Rock called US Pizza, and anything that you could get on as a pizza topping, you could get made into salad. So I used to do that all the time, because I would get almost everything except no onions and no this or that or whatever, and I would just get this wonderful salad.
Yeah, that's veggie salad from Barrows that I get now.
And you can do that at what are those pizza things, Mod Pizza, and you can do that there too.
Yeah, I remember one time I went to US Pizza, and I usually would get a low fat Caesar dressing or a fat free Caesar dressing or whatever, trying to be healthy. I get all the pizza topping, but I was like, I'll get low fat dressing. But I remember one time I went to a US Pizza, and I remember just asking, I couldn't remember it. I said, "Do you guys have a fat-free ranch dressing?" He goes, and the guy said, "Yeah, but it's no good. Get the original." So okay.
I do like Zeke's Pizza, and they make really, really good salads there.
They're the ones that gave us really nice. I think we talked a few weeks ago about they gave us these really nice bags. Yeah, because we each got
okay. So the
takeout.
take-home stuff. Really, that's the one thing that we did that was improved during the pandemic. Was the whole takeout experience became a little bit better. I mean, also prices, but prices went up. But so did the quality of because now every restaurant has good takeout stuff. They had to.
To survive, they had
survive.
to. Yeah.
Like the bags and
that reminds me
all the DoorDash stuff.
of my story for yesterday. The other day, a couple days ago, I had a text message and an email message from my credit card company that said, "Did you make this purchase? We suspect, a fraudulent purchase or whatever." And it was a DoorDash order for $84.
Sheesh.
And I was like, "No, I did not make that order." And I said, "No, that's not me." And so they said, "Okay, well, the next step is, call the number on the back of your card, and we'll send you a new card."
But she didn't.
But I didn't want to do that because I guess I misunderstood it, because I thought the authorized purchases, would be okay, but that I was just disputing this one order, right? And so when we went to the attic, I was going to put my attic order on this credit card, and then so the lady ran it, and she goes, "It's declined," and I'm like, "Oh," and so I put it on my regular.
They shut it down.
Yeah,
you have to shut it down,
Yeah.
or else the fraud just keeps going.
Yeah, so I went ahead and put it on my debit card. I was like, I didn't want to do that, but okay. And so. And I was also concerned because I had Venmoed that money to the guy about the reeds. And so I was a little bit concerned about that. And I had used it for that order at Keepsakes. But that's at the beginning of the month, right? So anyway, so as we were driving away from the attic, I called the credit card number, and
Yeah, I told her,
you're
not doing anything, call them right now.
So I was talking to this lady, and so, she asked me about the DoorDash order, and I said, "No, I didn't not make that." And then she said, "Oh, we have another one here for Uber Eats from today, I guess, the 21st. And the one from Uber Eats was like $30-something, $34, $35. So I said, "No." And she says, "And there's another one from such and such kitchen something or other for 100 and something, and I'm like, no.
Jeez.
I said I used the card on the 4th, around the 4th,
Yeah.
and I used the card the other day, like last week sometime, for this much for the reeds, and I said, and since then I have not used this card at all until today. I've not tried to use it at all. And so they're like, yeah, there's these 3 charges on there that,
Wow.
okay, you know.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so I'm getting a new card, but it was like, oi!
That's
And
awful.
yeah, so, it was very scary.
Yeah, you know, they have to send you a new card right away because there's no way to know
Yeah,
for them to
you
know.
can't keep using that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
our bank is really, really good about
Shutting it all down.
shutting stuff down and
I
notifying.
wonder how they suspected because you never use DoorDash or.
something like that, probably, yeah. And I was going to say that, you know, usually a lot of times, you know,
a lot of
when you
times
can
they
tell
try
somebody,
it for $1 first
yeah,
to make sure.
when somebody has gotten your card number or whatever, they'll you know, send something in for $1 to see if it'll go through. And I remember when I was in Little
Well,
Rock.
it's easy with Uber, like
Mm-hmm.
with those things because you don't have to physically have the card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was joking. I was joking at work because I was taking somebody's credit card. I always have this standing thing that it's like, if ever I have to enter in all my, you know, financial when I'm taking orders,
Mm-hmm.
if I ever have to enter a expiration date of 2030,
Mm-hmm.
I have to quit
Mm-hmm.
because that freaks me out. Typing 2030 freaks me out, so it's time for me to quit. And the other day I got an expiration for 1:30, and I was like, no, I cannot be typing 2030 in my life. It's too much. It's too much to handle. I can't do it. I know it's 5 years away. Just no 2030. That's too much.
Well, you know, when I was in Little Rock, I had that problem that somebody had tried to make a donation to some charity or something for $1 because they were trying to test to see if the charge would get through.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, it's nice that banks can
Yeah,
pay
well, you know,
attention to that stuff now.
when I first moved here and I first opened my account with the credit union here, I was I had gone shopping at Walmart to get some things for my new apartment, and I had used that card for something else, you know. But I went to the store, and it was like, you know, the charge was pretty large. It was like 100 and something because I was buying a bunch of stuff, right? And so I went to run the card, and I had, you know, plenty of money in there, but I went to run the card and it declined it, and I'm like, yeah, that shouldn't happen because there's, you know, plenty of money in
It's
there.
because you
know.
moved.
But it was because no, it was my card here, but it was because I think it was because I used it at a different Walmart than the one I usually shopped at.
Right.
And because it was for a large amount. Because I was able to actually like pay for half of it and the other half of it on the same card.
Yeah.
You know, so the
Well,
total
that
was
happened to
amount, but I
us.
had to do it like in small chunks. And then they were I called the bank right away, and they said, yeah, it's probably just because they were like concerned that it was, you know,
Not your usual habits.
not your usual pattern, not your
Yeah,
usual
that happened to
place.
us. When Hannah got I think when she got her first apartment, she and I went to Target in Boston, and the double layered Target where you put your cart on an escalator to go up.
Yeah. Those are freaky, aren't they? The first time you do it.
But so, you know, we were filling her first apartment.
Yeah.
So it was like a huge, you know, thing, and we get to the checkout and it declines. I'm like, no way. So I call Mark, and they kind of took us to customer service, so we had our big cart full of stuff there, and I'm on the phone with the bank and everything, because they were like, you just are spending several $100s and you're not in your home state, and we're gonna flag it.
And,
We
yeah,
got
and you can't
released
get
and
mad
everything worked
because
out, but
they're
I
just
was-
trying to protect.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't mad. It was
no,
just
no,
like,
but it's like,
we're
wait a
just
minute.
sitting there, because Mark's trying to call them, I'm trying to call them, and just having to wait there with a big cart full of stuff, and I'm sure especially at school time, that happens in Boston all the time. So they totally got it, like why it was happening.
Yeah.
I've got to go.
Yes,
I'm going to run up to Tempe Yarn in Hoiberg for
before they close, and just to spend some yarn money, because I don't know, just in the mood.
I'm just making
So
messes
thank you
here.
for joining us one more week. Happy first week of spring.
Yes.
And check out our Etsy shop. We've got some springy stuff, some Easter stuff, some fun, actually pretty much all seasons covered. So if you're already doing your Christmas shopping, we've got you covered.
Yes.
So check that out. There's a link in the description below to our Etsy shop. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you back next week. Bye.
Bye.